All right, so all the points are in and everything, and I've gone ahead and I've trimmed up most of the rails. And now what we're going to do, so here, a little bit about soldering, how we did this. Whenever you're working with PC board ties and rail, a couple things. One, when you get the raw PC board, let's just take this piece right here. Okay, I just use a sanding block and I polish it, or you can use a wire wheel or something, and then I tin it. So I will put acid paste. We're using this acid paste. I'll put that on here, and I will tin the PC board tie for for pretty much everything, wherever I'm working on. Also, for the more important rails, I got any here. For the more important rails, as you can see, here's one. I tin the whole bottom of it, just because it's easy just to wipe the solder across. That helps you get a better bond. That's really important. Now, acid paste, and then I'm just using the plain old $10 variable temp solder pencil from Amazon. And the reason I like this one is because these tips are replaceable and they're dirt cheap. Also, the temperature can go from like 200 something up to 400, which is just right for what we're doing with rail and PC board ties. But now we're at the part where we've already soldered everything and we got to clean it up because we used acid paste on this. And we don't want that. We don't want that acid to stay on there, interfere with our paint, or cause some, as you run electricity through it, cause some problem. So I've got here a big old pan full of baking soda. And I'm going to do top and bottom. I'm going to get this thing, and I'll take this paintbrush here, and I want to get baking soda everywhere I can. And then, after I've done enough baking soda on the front and back and everywhere, that will neutralize the acid pretty much. What I want to do is I want to wash this with soap and cold water. I don't want to use hot water because you can start heating up rails and it can weaken solder joints. As we have found out in the past, using hot water, you think, oh, it's not going to hurt anything because it's all soldered. But yeah, it turns out that can cause some trouble. So we use cold water. And the baking soda is going to get where we need it to be. And we'll use that water and then we'll dry it. And then the next part that I'm thinking about doing differently on this one than done before is before I even paint it, well, one, I've got to make sure there's no orphaned rails. So some of these rails get wires on them. I'll show you why, because there's going to be some plastic rail joiners that go in certain spots. But I'm also thinking I'm going to attach the feeder wires before I paint it. That way, once it's in place, I don't have to like go to the backside and clean and solder and wreck my paint job and worry about if I accidentally undo some ties or something. Put that on first, and I think that will give us a more reliable and easier to work with connection. It's nothing to drill holes where this is going to go and drop the feeders down. But if you put feeders in on a rail that you've already installed, sometimes that is not fun. This one happens to be in a place where it's easy to get to, but you know how it goes when you're dropping feeders where your fixture is right up against the wall. That's not so much fun. So I'll go ahead and dust this all up and neutralize all the acid. Then we're going to wash it all off. And we're actually also, I'm going to do one wash just to get rid of the baking soda. Then I'm going to use some acetone, because the other way you neutralize the acid paste flux is acetone. And I want to get down in here where I used a lot of acid paste, and the acetone will basically neutralize and get rid of the acid paste. And then got to go over the top, smooth it out, and then we got to get down to putting gaps in and checking to see if everything's wired correctly.